What's up, everybody? E-Rock the Red here, bringing you Gaming News Weekly, episode 20. As always, let's start things off with our new releases from this past week. Another small week of releases, only a handful of games. First thing, let's talk about Everspace 2 came out on January 18th. This is a PC Steam Early Access version of the game. It is a fast-paced single-player shooter with deep exploration, tons of loot, and a modern role-playing game hook. Never played Everspace 1, so not really familiar with this game. I just wanted to include it because it looks gorgeous. And for everything I read, the gameplay, the hook, the whole thing is a lot of fun if you're into space exploration and that sort of thing. So I love the idea of it. I've said it a ton of times before. I'm not good at the games where I have to fly, or games in space, or in the air, or all of the above. So I'll be sitting this one out. But if you are a fan of Everspace or are planning on checking out Everspace 2, I want to know how it is. So let me know what you think of that game. All right, the next one is a big one. Hitman 3 came out on PC, PS5, PS4, Xbox X, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and Stadia. This is the dramatic conclusion to the World of Assassination trilogy. It is most likely the last time we will be seeing Agent 47 in a while. This is it. This is the pièce de résistance. It is currently sitting at a 88 on Metacritic. It is reviewing very well. Basically, all the reviews are saying that it's just more of the same, but it is the best that it has been. The level design's amazing. The replayability is off the charts as far as the different ways that you can carry out your assassinations. They're saying it is the best in the series of Hitman games. So I'm excited to watch videos online, watch all the different ways that the assassinations get carried out. And from what I'm hearing, this Hitman 3 has the most options as far as how you carry out those assassinations. So those are always fun to watch. I love looking at clips of all the different ways people murder other people. So get out there, get to work, make it creative. All right, and lastly this week, let's talk Ride 4. Came out January 21st for the PS5 and Xbox Series X and S. This is a next-gen version of the game. It came out in October of 2020. Motorcycles, baby. Hundreds of officially licensed bikes, dozens of tracks throughout the world. There is a day and night cycle, different weather. It's got it all. And for this next-gen version, you'll be watching it in 60 frames per second, 4K. It's going to look beautiful. And it's also got online for up to 20 racers at a time, as well as a full single-player adventure type campaign. So, if you're into those motorbikes, baby, this one is for you. All right, that's it for our new releases. Let's jump right into our news of the week. As always, we've got a little bit of news from Cyberpunk 2077. A recent report from Bloomberg's Jason Schreier came out, and it stated in the report, there was a lot of things. It was a full article, and it stated that CD Projekt Red was not ready for the launch of this game in 2020, and that it had an unrealistic timeline that forced employees to work long hours and work lots of overtime. They supposedly interviewed a bunch of people that had worked on the game and wanted to remain anonymous, but some of the takeaways from it were that they were building the entire engine as they built the game. So someone compared it to driving a train and laying the track as you went. So, wasn't the easiest way to do things, which is one of the reasons why it was, delayed so much and then pushed to come out when it wasn't ready. Another thing that it claimed that the E3 demo from 2018 was almost entirely fake and it was made just for E3. And the team also said that they spent so much time making that demo where they could have been making the game at the time. So a lot of interesting things. I definitely recommend reading the entire article. There's a whole bunch more that I didn't get into, but it did cause the studio head from CD Projekt Red, Anna Badowski, to come out on Twitter and basically say that these claims weren't entirely true. He really didn't dispute them too much. He said that most demos shown at trade shows aren't the actual game. He also said that some of the claims that Jason Schreier made regarding content missing was not true. So really interesting stuff. And then Schreier responded to that by saying that they reached out to CD Projekt Red for comments on these specific issues, and nobody commented or wanted to answer the questions at the time. So it was very interesting that in that moment, the studio head, Adam Badowski, came out to say these things when it could have been avoided altogether in the beginning. Real interesting stuff. Of course, wouldn't be a week of news without something going on in Cyberpunk world. And I'm not even talking about the other class action lawsuit that was filed against them. So, a lot to read about if you're interested in more. Definitely go check it out. What could it be? GTA 6 is being worked on? Well, we're not sure yet, but a recently discovered patent was filed by Take-Two Interactive, developed by Rockstar, and in it shows a whole new non-playable character system being developed regarding the way that the characters exist in this world. It was specifically regarding their traffic behavior while they're on basically any vehicle. But the idea was that instead of the way it currently is, where an NPC, if they're, a certain distance away, they just cease to exist. Now with this new system shown in these patents, that character remains in this world and goes about their day. So very interesting stuff. Now, granted, it is just a patent that was filed. Doesn't really mean anything, but it's just nice to see that, they are working towards something, that we're not just going to have GTA 5 online for the rest of our lives. So, more on that, hopefully, coming soon. We'll see. I don't know. Next up, we got a trailer for a brand new game from Ghost Dog Films called I Saw Black Clouds. Now, what this is, it's an interactive thriller movie, basically a movie that you control the characters. Set to come out the first quarter of this year for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC, and then some point at a later date for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S. And what it is, it's a thriller with supernatural elements, but it tracks the decisions you make. It tracks a bunch of personality traits, your denial, your acceptance, your guilt in certain situations, and then it uses these decisions and the relationships you make within the movie to determine the resolution of the film towards the end. So really cool ideas, and excited to see more of that as it progresses. All right, and then we recently got a few announcements for some new Nintendo Switch games coming out. First one, Kingdoms of Amalur ReReckoning, set to come out March 16th. Now, I've talked about this game before when it was being re-released on the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. Basically, it is a role-playing game set in this huge world. It's an action role-playing game. Tons of weapons, armor, loot. one of my favorite games when I initially played it on the PlayStation 3. I recently got it for the PS4, but haven't been able to sink a lot of time into it. Definitely excited to go check it out. And if you've never played it and you have a Nintendo Switch, I definitely recommend it. And another Nintendo Switch game we got a trailer and a release date for, Pokemon Snap. This is your traditional Pokemon photography game. Basically, you're a budding Pokemon photographer, and you go around and you try to take pictures of Pokemon by giving them fluff fruit. And then Professor Mirror evaluates your photos and gives you cool things depending on how good your photos are. And if you like the Pokemon's looking at you, or if it's in a cool pose, I have no idea. I've never played Pokemon Snap, but the idea of going around and photographing random strange creatures interests me. So I may have to get this. Look at this stuff. I want to take a picture of that cute sleepy cat thing. I don't know. April 30th. Hopefully it's good. We'll see it then. All right, everybody. That's it for Gaming News Weekly. As always, thank you so much for watching, for listening, and leave a comment. Let me know what you thought of this week's episode, what you're looking forward to, and we'll see you again next week. Thanks. Bye-bye.